Hi, this is a test. This is a test for your concentration because we're going to have the real world sounds coming in. You're going to hear cars going down the street. You might hear some birds chirping. There's a highway not too far from here. There's a logistics center. It's a busy place, and but at this time of the year, when you don't have to use your heating or air conditioning, I haven't used the heating or air conditioning for a month at least, and so the outdoor temperatures are not too far from room temperature, comfortable temperature. That's a great opportunity in the year to open up. Like I've got 2 sliding doors open here, and this apartment has both sides. The sliding door and balcony is on one side, and the entrance door is on the other side, and it opens up to the outdoors. And so and there's a window also in the room there that opens up pretty full, so I can get a flux of air going through this apartment all the time, which is a good thing, right? I'm not teaching you anything, but maybe I might inspire you to remember that fresh air is good. We don't want to live in a bubble. We don't want to suffocate ourselves. We want to get an exchange of air. We want to get fresh oxygen coming in, and we want to get the carbon dioxide flowing out, and we want to have a good balance of air, like the outdoor air. Yeah, so it might be a bit noisy, but let me bring you up to speed on where I'm at with this. I started this new drumming rhythm, I think on the last Moves News, and you'll see how much progress I've made, which is, it's a shame actually, because it means I haven't caught up with the news with you for a while, but that's why I'm here now. And so let me just see how well I can do with this. This is a work in progress, so where am I at with this? So yeah, that's a work in progress. I'll continue to develop it, and then I'll practice what I have. Like what I just showed you there, that was not improvisation. I mean, it was improvisation to create that rhythm, but it's something that I do repeatedly, the same now. I'm trying to get it to where I have to think about it less and less, and as I can think about making that happen less and less, I might even be able to give you some eye contact, the viewer, and then I might even be able to add a few flourishes here and there to the rhythm, just at will, just because I'm so comfortable with the rhythm. That's what I strive for. And so what else is new in the news? I did go out yesterday and I gave a performance out by Narita Airport. I had a nice ride out there on the highway, about an hour, and then I gave a half-hour performance on inline skates at a sports club. And there were just a few handfuls of people in attendance for that inaugural event over there. But I was on my inline skates that day, and I thought, how am I going to fill up a half an hour? I'm not going to just like perform one piece after another, or keep performing and doing tricks for them, like you know, a circus monkey or something. So maybe I should inject some thinking about what I do here, and I try to teach and inspire. And so I can do that at the sports club as well. And my Japanese is good enough that I can get my point across with what I'm trying to say. And I did ask Ryoko and Kaz also to help me with a little translation along the way too. But I pointed out the things that are important in sport no matter what the sport is. It's true. And one of the things that I mentioned was sei, posture, and the position of your shoulders. And I mentioned that this is good not just in sport, but this is good for minasan, everybody. Is there anybody who doesn't want to have good posture? Well, I don't know, maybe that's your attitude to go around with bad posture or something, that's cool or something. But yeah, you can be part of some cult that bad posture is a little bit psychological, and bad walking styles are a little bit psychological. They're not necessarily a structural thing. They can become a structural thing if you walk a certain way over and over and over again. Your muscles and your body forms in the way that you use it. So, yeah, it can become a structural thing, but lots of times we follow some idol, somebody we see that we look up to, and they behave in a certain way, and it's quirky and weird and stupid maybe even, but we tend to copy. And so, I don't know, maybe in some anime over here in Japan, there's some characters that walk with their toes turned in, but you see an inordinate number of people walking with toes turned in, walks here. Maybe now is a good time to bring up the word of the day, which is callipygian. Callipygian, it's not an everyday word. And callipygian means having well-shaped buttocks. There is a word for that. Yes, callipygian. And this is a reason actually to have good posture and good biomechanics, is you will have a better shaped body just generally all around, including your buttocks. And some people have better shaped, more beautiful buttocks than others. And if you have good alignment and good use of your hip joints and good biomechanical actions, then you use your muscles in a certain way. You distribute the work among your muscles in a certain way, depending on how you typically move. And so you can create a good-looking body or an ugly body depending on how you move. And so now I'm just reminding myself here about my posture. The thing is that with the shoulders, we don't want the shoulders too much forward. And in time, as we age, and I see this here in Japan in the champions of longevity on planet Earth. And here in Japan, many otoshiori, old people, who are really stooped over. I mean, man, they're good for them. They've achieved. They're still alive. Well into their 90s and sometimes 100s. But gravity takes over in time, and so this is one of the things we want to do, is we want to fight gravity. That's part of. that's certainly an important thing to do. When you're figure skating, whenever we fall, it's because we lost our balance. You can lose your balance in many different ways. Yeah, but so I gave this performance for half an hour, and I talked about many things like how we distribute the bend in our legs, move smoothly, how we distribute the bend between the three joints. That would be considered a biomechanical position. how we maintain strength and awareness in the core. In this solar plexus area, and strength and stability and awareness. Now, as figure skaters and dancers, we want to have mobility, of course. But for doing robotic things like jumps, we want to have more stability. So we want to be able to dial in our one or the other. Maybe you can do some kind of nice double axel where you're using some kind of spinal gyration during the jump. You could make it more interesting somehow. But no, generally to learn jumps and to make them the easiest, we want to have stability and rigidity to a certain amount, and strength in the core. And so I think this is a good place, as I've said, and I'll remind you right now, this is a good place to have tension. We don't want unnecessary tension when we're doing our sports. Doesn't matter what the sport is. Unnecessary tension is not a good thing. And so trying to go for relaxation where the muscles are not needed to work. But I find that keeping these abdominal muscles tight and strong here does help with awareness of this part of the body, and it does help with stability. So I do find I skate better when I think about keeping those muscles engaged. It's also better looking, of course, if you have a flatter tummy. So it has a aesthetic as well as a useful purpose, keeping this strength in this solar plexus center of mass of the body. And yeah, so figure skating, I did figure skate the day before, and one thing I've been working on with figure skating, because I haven't been able to do, I've had to jump carefully because my knee is a bit of a problem. It has to do with starting running again, and I've modified how I'm using my feet when I run, and so it takes, things get worse before they get better when you make changes, and because of the new style, I'm stressing out my knee here, just below the knee here a little bit. It's my landing leg. So I'm trying to rest and make sure I'm skating very smoothly. But I still enjoy going skating. I'm not just going to sideline myself. And I went skating on Monday, and I was working because it's important for me right now to land very smoothly, not harshly, not jerkily, not wobbly. You know, it's important that my landings are very functionally correct right now to avoid pain. And so, yeah, the pain sucks, but the fact that it's going to be punishment if I don't land properly, immediate punishment. So yeah, okay, that's one incentive to skate better. And I've been using this incentive to try to see how relaxed I can be when I'm jumping. And let's just take as an axle, for example. And I've been working on my axle a lot recently because I want to make my double axle better and better when the knee comes back. And so, you know, the ways that what happens when we get tense or excited or afraid, or it affects our timing, and it makes the jump more difficult and more of a struggle. And so to do the easiest jump, yeah, it's not effortless, because if you're going to jump, it doesn't matter how you jump, whether you're on skates or however, or what your method or anything, if you're going to go up in the air, that requires effort, so it's not effortless. But the point is, we don't want to waste our effort. And, you know, like I consider like punching is kind of a waste of effort. So for my method, for my axle, I like just a natural pendulum timing to both the arms and the free leg. And it's not like the pendulum timing of the arms and the free leg are identical. If I could just allow them to swing, they're different mass and length and this and that. So it's not like they would naturally be absolutely identical, but I try to let the arms and free legs swing together on the takeoff of the jump without kicking and punching and tension. And I do find that when I'm able to just do this, that the jump is more satisfying. So, and that involves, of course, that one thing, allowing the arms and free legs to just swing nice and naturally into the jump without unnecessary tension. In order to achieve that, I found it's very, very important to breathe well. Because one of the ways that we get tension and cause difficulty and stress for ourselves is by hyperventilating or holding our breath and not letting the breathing be natural and full and continuous. So I did find working on my axle when I just allowed the breathing to be smooth and continuous throughout the whole jump, in addition to having those arms and free leg nice and relaxed, all the while keeping strength and stability in this important part of the body. But I was also working too, as part of this, on the style of placement of my shoulders. Because if I want just the shoulders to move, I don't want this action. I found myself doing some unnecessary actions like this. So I want the shoulders to be very relaxed and in a nice position, and I want the arms and free legs to just swing comfortably while I'm breathing very, very well. Fear slows you down. It takes you out of your rhythm. And fear and going out of the rhythm and telegraphing and waiting for your jumps, it can be a habit from the way that you learned those jumps. So whether avoid the habit in the first place or try to correct this habit gradually, try to find a nice rhythm into the jump that doesn't have any pauses, because for whatever reason, fear is often a reason to pause. Or thinking too much. Often when we think actually about, all systems are go, yeah, okay. When we have to stop and think, that also affects our rhythm. Anxiety or a misunderstanding of the correct use of energy, how to use energy and when to use energy, these can cause some rush, some kicking and punching and grunting and jaw, teeth clenching and all kinds of different kinds of tensions as we do our jumps. And so yeah, I've been trying to when I'm out running and when I'm skating, I've been trying to make these things as easy as I can make them, this axle in particular. And if it's as easy as it can be, it will also be as beautiful as it can be. Easy and efficient is beautiful. So yeah, I want to have a good use of those joints. I want to have good timing. I want to have a good attitude so that I'm not getting emotional or stressed or worrying, that I don't have an unnecessary fear or haste or diffidence. I want to get to the point where, and actually I did many, many waltz jumps, because to bring all of this to improve my axle all of a sudden in all of these ways that I'm talking about, it can be a little overwhelming actually, even only for a single axle. But bite off what you can. But I did work a lot on many of these things, all of these things on just my waltz jump. So I worked on all of the things that I talk about in my videos to, you know, become as little of a hypocrite as I could possibly be. Because I want whatever I'm talking about and expounding about and suggesting on my videos, I want to sprint the sprint. So that's why I'm practicing well and using my brain and trying to set a good example and inspire and make things enjoyable for myself. Yeah, I will go over this afternoon and work with a little girl on the ice, give her a lesson for an hour. And I enjoy this sometimes, face to face, here and now. I can show things back and forth. Yeah, getting on the ice is something good about that. You can really learn a lot. Like if you watch all of my videos, and you don't even have to memorize them. Just if you watch and understand my videos, take the time to do that, wow, you will be really well equipped to go out and skate well. Yeah, to become a better and better skater, because it's not like I'm a special person. I'm just specialized in figure skating as a lifetime career. I'm not just some dabbling dilettante. I'm a professional skater. That's my identity, and it has been for many decades. And I've had a lot of experience in figure skating. And I do like to think of myself as being a sharing person. As athletes, we do have to be somewhat selfish. But I like to share. I don't mind sharing knowledge. I like to share knowledge, actually. I don't really have an incentive to keep secrets. And actually, I do believe in some karmic way, if this is necessary. I mean, it's a pleasure just to share knowledge, but I do believe that in some karmic way, if you are sharing of your knowledge and insights and experiences, and you're helpful, you're going to move on to better and deeper insights yourself. It's not like you have to worry about competition. You know, and I don't worry about competition, but there are various reasons, of course, for, I mean, yeah, a good coach is probably not going to be doing podcasts like I do. A competitive coach, they don't want to share all their secrets and training methods and all this and that. Well, I'm not a coach, and I'm not really a competitor, serious competitor. Occasionally I go into competition, and I'm actually undefeated in the last 10 years. Which I should be, because how much time I've spent skating, you know, I'm practicing in that. I'm going to go over a little early this afternoon and get my feet on the ice, see how this body is working, and with no expectations, because I really don't know what kind of obstacles I'm going to come up with. I have done some good exercise and warm up already today. I went for a run, did some rolling. Yes, I use this little cork ball for rolling my feet. I do this every day. It's a small ball, so it's fairly concentrated pressure on the bottom of my foot, and so yeah, I find this is very, very beneficial. And for maintaining good feet. And I do massage on all self-care type of massage on my body in many, many different ways with many modalities as part of body maintenance, so that I can go out and enjoy figure skating. This is a grass done type tool. rest on technique. Very concentrated knife edge here. It's not sharp like a knife, but it's pretty concentrated, so I can't push very hard. So I don't go very deep. But this does perturb the skin, and it massages the myofascia, which is the connective tissue under the skin, between the skin and the muscles, the way I understand it. So, it doesn't matter if I understand it or not. I do notice that this sort of thing helps. So, yeah, I do it. I'm just trying to stave off pain and injury, and trying to stay active and with good posture. Signing off for the Moves News. Oh, I gotta give my skates a little sharpening before I head out. I've got my sharpening machine just outside the door here. And I have my skate insole in my skating boots, always. Yep, this is what our company does. We make these figure skating insoles, which are about the same. They take up about the same amount of space in your skate as the original insole. You take the original out and you put this in. And particularly in the front, you don't really need much help on the very front here. That's mostly just to keep the insole in place in the skate. But these two arches are quite important, dialing in the amount of support on this arch, and also many of us are unaware of having weak metatarsal arch, weak and flattened metatarsal arch, which makes the feet widen and can even bring on bumps, bunions, and things like that. So, yeah, this keeps me well aligned in my skate and helps me perform better and reduce the chances for pain. Or, depending on if my head is stronger than my body, maybe this doesn't reduce the chances of pain, but it does allow me to do more before I reach the level of pain that I can endure. No, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give these a sharpen, and then I'll head over to the ice rink this afternoon. And I will see you in the future. Signing off.